Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Eric here. As you can see, I'm in the school garden and we want to thank you so much for coming back for another video here on our channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, like this video, comment, share this video, and do not forget to click the notification bell in the right corner, I believe, of your screen to be notified when we drop new videos, which is every single week, guys. For those that are not new to the channel and you've been here on our journey in our gardens, thank you so much for coming back for another video. In today's video, I'm going to give another tour, but what makes this tour different is that we are in the works of building new partnerships and coming up with new school gardens throughout our county. So eventually in the coming months, we will be introducing you all to a new school garden to get you guys prepared. We're going to be changing the ways we present those garden tours to you. So in the title of each garden tour video, we're going to be putting SG1, SG2, SG3, and so forth. The SG stands for school garden. So the number translates to which school garden we are referring to. So for this video, it'll be SG number 1, May garden tour, since we are in May. And if you have any questions, just let us know in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them. But let's get on to the tour. Okay, over here we have one of our long rows, very long rows. At the end, in a previous video, we showed you guys us planting this area out. This is one of the last areas that we have our leafy vegetables before it starts to get too hot. We probably have one more harvest out of this area, and then once it starts going to seed, we'll probably let one of the mustards stay, one of the Swiss chards stay and go to seed so we can collect those seeds. But we'll probably most likely scrap out everything else except for the zinnias, the calendula, the dill, sweet marjoram, and borage. We'll most likely leave all of that, in the green beans of course, but everything else we'll remove and probably plant either some determinate tomatoes over here or more green beans. Next to that we have cilantro going to seed. We didn't really do any harvesting on cilantro. I mean, we can still pick some of the leaves down there, but we're just leaving these flowers. We're leaving the, cilantro, go to seed, and leave the flowers for the pollinators. And the actual coriander, because cilantro goes to seed and the coriander seed can still be used in cooking. So it's going to seed, and once it dries up, we'll collect the seed to also put in little packs to save so we can plant more cilantro in the future, and also donate to families and other students that participate in our programs. As you can see, we have some seeds everywhere, so this is going to produce a lot of seeds. I'm going to do my best at timing it perfectly where I come and collect the seeds before they start to fully drop, because I don't want this area to be too impacted by a bunch of cilantro. Like, I don't mind having a small area become a cilantro patch, but I don't want the whole bed to be cilantro. Behind that we have Swiss chard growing still. That is from last season, so I'm excited and shocked that it's still surviving after the frost, during the frost. Right here we have kale going to seed. I'm letting it go to seed because, as you can, I don't know if you guys can see, but there are pollinators all over here. I think these are hoverflies. So we're just letting the flowers stay for the pollinators. And we can also collect the seed, so we won't have to buy so many seeds. That is a goal of ours this year, to let a lot of things go to seed so that we can collect the seed, so that we can build up our own seed catalog. preventing us from spending so much money in purchasing seeds. Like, we still want to support our local garden centers, but at the same time, buying seeds, the same seeds over and over again, can be a little not cost effective. What's the opposite of cost effective? Cost ineffective. It can be a little pricey. And so to turn away from having to spend so much money on seeds, we're gonna be working towards collecting our own seeds from our garden, from the produce that we grow. Next to the seeding kale and cilantro, we have our area where we're going to be doing, I told you guys in the previous video that we're going to be doing our three sister gardening area. So this is the start of it. We have acorn squash here. I'm actually going to be feeding all of the plants today with some worm castings, but also with blood meal and some fish fertilizer so that they can really take off. Surprisingly, the squash did pretty well with their transplant. They didn't really die or have too much of a shock, which I am excited. Hopefully after feeding them with all of those three things that I just mentioned, they really take off and get bigger and start producing lots and lots of fruit. Right here, our corn finally germinated. I'll put the type of variety of corn that we are growing on screen for you guys if you guys want to try to grow it yourself. And also, I'll put in the corner of the video a video on how to grow corn and the life cycle of corn. This video was done, I think, 2 years ago, back when we had a great harvest of corn. And this was the same area that we grew our corn during that time. So hopefully it does well again. In front of the corn, we have our beans. These are not sprawling beans. These are bush beans. So they shouldn't be placed too close together. I feel like they are spaced out enough. If not, if they become too large and too compacted in this area, I will remove some and just put them in that area over there. But I feel like we spaced them out good enough and they'll be okay. I'm so excited, you guys. You guys have no idea. Last year we did not do a good job at planting our corn, enough corn, and then we didn't do a good job at growing any actual corn. Like, none of the corn actually grew. It really didn't get germinated. Some corn seeds didn't germinate, and then the corn that germinated, we weren't able to actually pollinate all of the silks with the tassels. So, and then we had an aphid problem. I don't know, last year was just horrible. And you can relate that to your life. Like, everything will not work every single time, but when it does work, it's going to work. So just keep that in mind when you're gardening at home. Of course, you're going to run into stumbles and you're going to trip sometime. You may not be successful all the time with whatever type of crop you're growing, but once you get it and you get the hang of it, write down the steps you took to achieve that goal and to achieve that harvest, and take those same steps every single time, because you will be successful at it. All right, next to our small corn, well, three sister patch, we will be extending it, but that'll be after we remove all of this garlic over here. And I wanted to show you guys, this is garlic. I know it's garlic because it's all connected. However, what is this? The only logical guess that I have is that these are garlic seeds being produced, but look how it's being produced. It's so weird. I've never seen the garlic, like I've seen garlic scapes, but why does this look like this? Like, why does it have this shape? Why does it have like little hairs at the end? Like, what? It's so weird. Can anybody tell me in the comments like what is happening right here? It's so weird, but so cool. Cantaloupes right here. And then next door we have more cantaloupes right here. Next door to them, we have bush cucumbers. And this was a bush cucumber that was transplanted. As you can see, it has some flowers coming. But we're going to be fertilizing this guy, and then we have some bush cucumbers that we seeded. We sowed seeds, and they'll be right behind this one. But I'm glad we put those there. That way they can bush out and take up a lot of the space. We are going to plant, I think, some cucumbers here maybe, because I did want to put a trellis up for them to climb, so that underneath we can plant more green beans. But I'm going to do that today. And that is this entire row. Alright, over here we have all of the garlic, mostly all of the garlic and onions that we're growing in the garden. We have other sections, more sections of garlic and onions over there in our rose and wind tunnel. But this is majority of the garlic and onions. And as you can see, we have been excited these past few days because all of the onions are bulbing. And what I mean by that is that they are actually growing the onion part, where the same type of onion part that you buy in store. And so we're going to be fertilizing all of the onions and garlic this morning with the fish fertilizer, so that they can take up a lot more nutrients and get even larger. In the corner you will see the video of us actually planting out these onion, what do you call them, sets, I guess, these onion sets. And yeah, we planted these back in, I think, early January, because we actually planted seeds with the students, onion seeds, but they never germinated. So I'm guessing they were bad seeds, but we have been able to grow onions. And I guess when the onions start falling over like that, that's signaling that they're almost ready to be harvested. But we're gonna let a lot of these still get bigger and bigger. I want to try our hand at growing the largest onions that we can, since this is our first time. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. As you can see, the garlic is literally above my waist, and it's so tall. The only thing is that they are taking forever to turn brown. The leaves turn brown, signaling that they're ready to be harvested. We're gonna have to start taking these up soon, because we need these areas for all of the other plants that we have still sitting in front of the greenhouse, waiting to be transplanted out into the garden. All right, moving on into our last area of the garden. This row we planted out some peppers, and we are going to be mulching them. I recently watched a video, I think by Jacques the gardener, and he was mentioning how if you don't really have decaying material for like the roly-polies that you see down here, they'll start to eat on your plants and things. So I see so many roly-polies in this area. I see big ones and small ones. So I'm going to put down some mulch today, some straw mulch, which we have. And I'm going to cover this entire row, this row. I may do the rows with the brassicas, but it's getting hotter. Right now, it's creeping up to 80 degrees, and soon enough, we won't be able to harvest any more brassicas. So I don't know if I want to mulch those rows right here just yet, but I will be definitely covering these two rows today. We have more peppers over here. These are our long thin cayenne peppers, zinnia, sweet marjoram, some more garlic. This garlic will be harvested today. I'm just gonna pull it up today and let it cure in the greenhouse. We have basil, eggplants. These are our 4 eggplants. I think it's a mix of Black Beauties and the long, I think a long thin eggplant. Not quite sure. These are our mixture of peppers. We have a Sunbright bell pepper plant. I think these two right here are pretty and sweet peppers, which is it's a type of pepper that's a sweet variety. And then we have a banana pepper right here, but it's a hot banana pepper, which is pretty cool, and I can't wait to taste that. But like I said, we're gonna mulch these two areas. The second area that we're gonna mulch is our tomatoes. If you watch one of our previous videos, which is on the screen right now, you would have known that we planted out our new row of tomatoes. Last year we had our tomato row right here, but I wanted to do a switcheroo and switch up our planting. We will be providing you guys an upcoming video on switching out your plants in the different areas that you're planting them. Just a tidbit of information, it's very important that you do crop rotation because, for example, tomatoes take a lot of nutrients out of the ground and they are very heavy feeders because they produce lots of fruit, right? And they need a lot of energy in order to do so. So placing them in the same area year after year after year after year will drain your soil of those same nutrients every single year, and your soil will never have those same nutrients to provide to other plants or to provide to that same crop. So if you plant your tomatoes in one area, like we did here, where you see those onions and sweet peas, we planted tomatoes last summer in that row. Now in this summer, we're planting tomatoes in this row, so that every year we're switching out the placements of our crops. But I just wanted to provide that little tidbit of information. We will be providing a more in-depth video on crop rotation and its importance and how you can do it in your garden, whether you have a large garden or a small patio garden. This is our tomato row. As you can see, they are getting so much bigger. We just planted these out about 2 weeks ago, if that, and they are already producing flowers. They all have flowers. This one is the largest one out of all the tomatoes plants over here, and it's already have open flowers, and I'm just gonna jiggle it so that the pollen can drop onto this what's it called, stamen. I really hope this year we do not have to deal with any hornworms. I'm pretty sure they're gonna come, but I don't. The infestation that we had last year with hornworms almost took all of our tomatoes out. It almost did. We were able to get large harvests of tomatoes last year, but once those hornworms came, I'm telling you, it was so difficult to keep an eye on them, to remove them, to feed them to the birds. I'm gonna put a video here on the screen. The birds really loved the hornworms, but it was a time trying to keep the hornworms off of the tomato plants, pick them, harvest the tomatoes at the same time, plant new tomatoes. It was so hard. This year I'm going to try my best at doing a better job at planting new plants out into the garden. Once old plants start to die, planting new seeds, planting new transplants. I'm gonna do my best because last year I didn't do a good job. I feel like I was too burdened with the hornworms and the other pests in the garden, like aphids. Trying to combat them and harvest at the same time was a bit much. But I'm gonna do my best at planting out new transplants, planting new seeds, so that we can have a continuous harvest in the garden. This is just pretty much the same thing. We have onions here, brassicas, lettuce, Swiss chard, and our snap peas and onions. That's pretty much everything in the garden, guys. I hope you liked today's video. Make sure to watch these playlists on your screen for more content. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment. And we will see you guys later in the garden. Bye.